بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا وحبيبنا مولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وأصحابه وبارك وسلم. Let's all begin with dua together. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana. Allahumma 'allimna ma yanfa'una wa zidna 'ilma ya muqallibal qulub. Thabbit qulubana 'ala dinik. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I pray that all of you are well, inshallah ta'ala. And let's bismillah, inshallah. So, to get started in what we did last week is that we ended Nahwu with the last exercise, exercise 9.3, which is the Ism Mawsul, the Ismul Mawsul. So who wants to start off and give me all the Ism Mawsuls you know? It should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know. So let's start off and just give me the Ismul Mawsul that you know. I'll give you a clue. It starts with Alladhi.
Assalamu alaikum Malana.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Bismillah. That's name.
So Alladhi, Allati, Alladhina, and then Allati or Allai.
Okay, perfect. So Alladhi, Allati, Alladhina, and just the last two is going to be, let me just put it up for you quickly. The last two are going to be, let me just put it up for you. Here we go. So these are the last two. Okay. So basically, let's do together, inshallah. So the first one is Alladhi, he who or that which. Allati, she who or that which. Then many males is going to be Alladhina, Alladhina, and many females, like those who for males, Alladhina, and those who for females. Just notice different from Allati, this is Allati. So Allati is for one female, and for many females is Allati. So it's a Madun Alam. Allati, Allati, one female, Allati, many females. Or Allai, many females as well. So let's say those five together again. Alladhi, Allati, Alladhina, Allati, Allai. Again. Alladhi, Allati, Alladhina, Allati, Allai. One more time. Alladhi, Allati, Alladhina, Allati, Allai. So this is an Ismul Mawsul. An Ismul Mawsul. So in our last lesson, we finished until number 9 and number 10 you did in your groups. So let's Bismillah, we're going to just translate this and then we're going to go on to Sarf, inshallah. So Bismillah, Ya ayyuhalladhina kafaru, you can just, each one can get a turn and just to translate, inshallah. Ya ayyuhalladhina kafaru. What does ya mean, or ya ayyuha? So number 10, just translation. Ya ayyuhalladhina kafaru.
Assalamu alaikum, Maulana.
Walaikum salam wa irshad, mashallah.
How's Maulana doing today?
Alhamdulillah, yourself.
Alhamdulillah. Maaf, I'm just scrolling where I find my page.
Okay, no problem. That's right at the end, second last page.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. Ya ayyuhalladhina kafaru. The translation I have is, oh, those who disbelieve.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, those who disbelieve. Okay, fine. Those who disbelieve. What's the meaning of ya ayyuha?
I just used ya as o, like when you call towards someone.
Yes. Okay.
Ayyuha.
Okay. So just to give the difference, I mean, that actually, so ya in Arabic means oh. So ya is someone you address. right? Like yeah, walad, oh boy, yeah, bint, oh girl. So it's someone you address. So if you address someone, do you normally address someone in the second person or the third person?
Second person if you're speaking to them, correct?
Yeah. So generally, when you have a yeah, you generally translate it as second person.
Okay.
I translate this as second person.
So you'd say, oh, you who disbelieve.
No. Oh, you disbelieve because it would be a
Okay.
second person. Second person. So just the difference also between yeah and yeah ayyuha. Yeah means oh and yeah ayyuha means oh. So if I say yeah walad, it means oh boy. If I say yeah ayyuha, yeah ayyuha walad, it means oh boy. The difference really is that the yeah is considered to be the ya ayyuha is considered to be a much more formal address,
Okay.
and in a sense there's more distance in that. So the ya ayyuha is used in cases where there's more formality or where there's distance between the person calling out and the one being called out.
But in
So
English,
you
they
wouldn't,
both just translate to oh.
yes. But in
Okay.
Arabic, if you're speaking to your son, you won't say ya ayyuhal walad. You say ya walad because your son is close to you. Or ya abati, oh my father. Because if someone is close to you, you use like a ya. It's more informal, close. Whereas ya ayyuha is more formal. But
Okay.
in translation, we're unable to see it. But just in Arabic, you can see it.
Okay. That makes sense.
Okay,
Shukran.
good. So ya ayyuha means oh. Alladina, those who is normally those who. But because when you say oh, you address someone, you're going to say yuhu. Oh, yuhu, kafaru, disbelieve. So kafaru is explaining who the yuhu or those who are. Okay. Number 11. Bismillah. النار التي وقودها الناس. Bismillah. Who wants to go?
Malana? Okay.
So that's name. Bismillah. Let's go. Bismillah.
I've got the fire that which its fuel is mankind.
That which its fuel is mankind. Okay. So tell me that, or let's say people. You have to be gender sensitive nowadays. Although mankind obviously includes women, but people are kind of sensitive about terms and things. So just tell me the word nar. Is it male or female?
Female.
What type of female is it? Remember, we had different types of female words.
Oh my, I can't remember.
The one was a
It's-
female ending, tamarbuta.
Oh, it's like an inherent, yeah, I forget the word, but it's known to be a feminine word.
Okay, good. It's
Without
the
the
deemed
term
feminine.
mabuta.
Yes. So nar is basically the one that is just deemed feminine. So the fire and allati, therefore allati we use a single female because it's referring to the fire. The fire which or that which waqud means fuel, waquduha its fuel, and nas is people. Okay, perfect. Shukran. Next one. Who wants to go next? Al-fulki allati tajri fil bahri. الفلك التي تجري في البحر. Who's next? ست سنين بسم الله. أنا ست طاهرة ما شاء الله. Sorry. ست طاهرة, are you family of ست تسنيم? ست تسنيم. Okay, ask some other time إن شاء الله. بسم الله. Let's go. الفلك التي تجري في البحر.
The ship that which flows in the sea.
You're very, very soft. Just say it again.
The ship that which flows in the sea.
Okay. So al-fulk, I'm just trying to remember what is fulk. It can use a singular or plural. Let me just check quickly. No, so fulk can be used as a single and as a plural. So here we're going to regard it as a plural. That's a collective noun. So basically, let me just add this here. So we can translate fulk as ships. Allati,
That flows in the sea.
The Tahira, you're very, very soft today. I don't know what's happening.
I think it's my computer.
Okay, it's perfect now.
So the ship that which flows in the sea. So allati.
So that which flows in the sea. So tell me, why was allati used?
Ship, feminine word.
Okay, so you're getting so let's go through the dictionary quickly. So we look up the word falaka. So when we come across a new word, obviously look up the word falaka. Then we find falak. Then we find the word fulk. So fulk here is going to mean M and F. So what's the meaning of M and F? Okay, you super soft today. I'm not sure what's happening with your mic. Okay, anyway, I'll just talk through it. So M and F means that fulk can be a male word or it can be a female word. So you can use it as a male word and a female word. And the translation is ship, comma. Also collectively, it can mean ships. So full can mean ship or ships, and it can be a male and a female word. A male and a female word. In other words, you can refer to it as a hiya or a huwa. It can be a male and or a female word. But the context here is going to be it's a plural word. So the ships that which flows in the sea, and also ships are going to be the plural of a non-human thing. So we refer to it as single female as well. الفلك التي تجري في البحر. Okay, good. So
How
I
do
know
you know? How do you know when it's male and when it's female? How do you know when?
So it's the word fulk always means ship or ships. So you basically have the flexibility of referring to it as male or female. So obviously ship it doesn't have a gender in actual life. So basically in Arabic you can refer to it as male or female. It
So it could
doesn't
have
change
been
the meaning.
it could have been al-fulki alladhi tajri fil bahri. It could be have been alladhi then.
Yeah, but the only thing is that as soon as it has a plural
Alladhina.
meaning, if it has a plural meaning, you'd refer to it as single female because of our rule that remember that if it's a plural of a non-human thing, then you'll refer to it as single female. So you'll say if it's a plural, you'll say al-fulk allati. But if it is one ship, you could say al-fulk alladhi or al-fulk allati.
Okay, I get it.
You've gone soft again. Okay. If you have further questions, you can just pop in the chat, inshallah. Where's the word falaka come from? The one that means punishment in madrasa. I don't know where falaka comes from. I don't know if it's falaka or falaqa. But falaqa means to like split open, which would mean a very bad meaning for hiding. The one sister asked in the chat, where does they don't say falaka. Does anybody know? We know they used to, back in the day, they used to give people hiding in madrasa. Or at some schools, they called falaka. Here's falaqa, a device for holding the legs of a delinquent during the bastinado. I don't know what bastinado means, but it looks something like hiding. Anyway, someone can Google it and tell me what it is. Anyway, let's get back to our Nahwu lesson. Next, لا تقتلوا النفس التي حرم الله. Who's going next? Who's next? Bismillah. If you think I'm unmuting, now's the time. Walaikum salam wa tawfiq. MashaAllah, how are you doing?
Alhamdulillah, yourself.
Good, good, alhamdulillah. So, Bismillah.
This one I said, your money, that which Allah made for you. Oh, sorry. Wait.
Sorry, I skipped one. You're right. You're right. I was thinking.
Oh, yeah, I was
You
really
money, your
confused.
money.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, now let's go. أموالكم التي جعل الله لكم. بسم الله.
Your
أموال
money.
your your money or أموال can also be your wealth as well.
Yeah, your wealth.
Your wealth. Yes.
I said that which or just which
That
Allah
which
made for you.
Allah made for you. Okay, good, perfect. Why do you think that we use single female there? التي.
I would suppose wealth is plural, it's not a singular.
Good, because wealth is basically amwal is the plural of mal. So mal is like one piece of wealth. Amwal is going to be like collectively your wealth in a collective. So therefore, it's the plural of a non-human thing, and therefore use a single female. Amwal lakum, your wealth, that which Allah made for you. Okay, perfect. That's not a full sentence, obviously. These are all just parts of a sentence. Good. Number 14. Who's next? لا تقتل النفس التي حرم الله. What's happening today?
Okay, Assalamualaikum and
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Brother Munir, Bismillah.
let me try. So do not kill the soul, the person that which Allah has sanctified.
Okay. Person that which Allah has sanctified. Okay, good. Tell me, how did you know it was do not kill and versus you are not killing?
I think the verb, because the verb changes after the la, and the verb changes there, Maulana. So I think that becomes a prohibition, I think, eh?
Okay, perfect, perfect. So basically, if it's a law of prohibition, the verb's going to change. So what was the verb originally?
Taqtuluna.
Taqtuluna. Perfect. So therefore, because it was taqtuluna, that means you are killing. And if you say la taqtulu, you drop the noon, so you made a change. That means do not kill. And nafsa, the soul, the person, allati, that which, harram Allahu, Allah has made sacred. And again, allati is what? Allati is a feminine. Why? Because the word nafs is female. The word nafs is female. Okay, good. Next one. أولئك الذين حبطت أعمالهم. Who's next? Hello. Okay, Hasina. Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh. How are you doing?
Alhamdulillah, how are you, Mulana?
Good, good, alhamdulillah.
So, أولئك الذي حبطت أعمالكم, it means those whose actions or those actions, deeds are futile.
Okay,
So-
so listen to it word for word. Ulaika means what?
Those, I think means those.
Those. Alladina.
Alladhina is the plural of those who, male.
Okay, so if I told you that ulaika is the mubtada and alladina is the khabar, how do you translate it? What did you put in between?
Those who are, or those who. I don't
Remember,
know.
alladhi is the one who, and alladina
one.
are those who.
Those that, I don't know.
Okay, so those are, let's put I in between there. Ulaika.
Yeah,
Alladina
Ula-
are. Alladina.
yeah,
You can use the word the one. You can say the ones who. Is that proper English? You say the ones who.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know if it's proper
Those.
English.
Oh, I see what Mona means. Those are the ones that.
Yes, you see what I mean? Because it's a mubtada khabar. Those are the ones
Okay. Those are the ones that
or that habitat a'malahum.
whose actions or deeds are futile.
Actions, deeds
So,
are futile. Perfect. Okay, so often when you see this here, ulaika alladhina, we actually have a mubtada khabar here. So we add ulaika as the focus of the sentence, and alladhina habitat a'malahum is the khabar. It is the information about the mubtada.
okay.
So ulaika is the focus. So ulaika, those are, and we must put the are there. Alladina are the ones who habitat. Habitat means to come to nothing, to be wasted, to be futile. And a'maluhum is the fa'il. What has become wasted,
Okay.
futile? The actions.
Okay, and it's a difference in meaning from saying those whose actions deeds are futile, because that means you're expecting a continuation. But this is saying those are the ones whose actions are futile. It's different.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So there's a full sentence. If we didn't make
Okay.
that like that, then it wouldn't be a full sentence.
Jazakallah.
Okay, perfect. Next one. فطرة الله التي فطر الناس عليها. نعم بسم الله.
I wanted to just ask you about the previous one, the
Mhm.
habitat malum. So is habitat is that that's a fi'l, right?
Yes, yes.
So could you say it differently? Like because I struggle a lot with this one, or I struggle with all of them, but I mean habitat malum. So could you also then say that those who void their actions? So if we had to translate it a little bit, the way it was translated by the lady and Masih, it makes absolute sense. But just to be a bit more literal about it, could one say that those are those who void their deeds, so that you translate it as if it's a fi'l?
Okay, so I think it goes back to the meaning of habita. So look at the word habata or habita. It means when something comes to nothing, when something is futile. So it's not like it doesn't mean to make something void, if you know what I mean. It means when something is nothing, when something is futile, when something is lost, when something is void. So I think it would be more accurate to say habitat. Okay, and also the reason why it's feminine is because amal is going to be the plural of a non-human thing. So it's not just to answer your question. If I ask the question differently, where is the fa'il of habita? Who was with me now?
This can't.
Oh, Brother Khalil. So where is the fa'il of habita? It must be in, left to in.
So a'malu.
A'malu. So in other words, the people are not the fa'il, the a'mal is the fa'il.
Yeah.
Are you with me?
Yes.
So therefore, habita means to come to nothing, to be futile, to be zero. So what is coming to nothing? Not they are coming to nothing or they are making the actions nothing. Their actions are nothing.
Okay.
You with me?
Understood.
So
Understood, yeah.
there are certain verbs in Arabic. Like I'll give you like a strange word in Arabic which you might find like if I look at the word jim mim lam jamala. Jamala literally means to be beautiful. So
No.
when we think of a verb, we think of you must like do something. But in Arabic, to be something is also a verb. You with me? So habita means when something is void. It's not always like an active verb like we think about it in English. If that makes sense.
It does, Shukran.
Yeah, I understand why you're saying that, because you're saying habita almost means like they must make it void because then it's a verb. But the actual verb here means to be void, to be futile, to be zero. Okay, good question, mashallah. Next one. فطرة الله التي فطر الناس عليها. Who's going? Bismillah. Does Dilshad, you had your hand up earlier? We didn't see you make a comeback.
Assalamu
So
alaikum,
Nariman,
Sheikh.
Bismillah. Okay, so Dilshad, you with us?
Ichi. Assalamu
Okay,
alaikum.
Bismillah. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So Nariman, you can take the next one, inshallah. Bismillah. Are you ready for this one?
فطر الله التي فطر الناس عليها.
Okay.
The nature which Allah bestowed upon man is what I've got.
Okay, so let's take the first two words. How do you translate fitrat Allahi?
Fitrat Allah, that will be your fa'il madi was or mudaf ilayh.
It's
I'm not
mudaf
quite
mudaf ilayh,
sure.
yes. So how do you translate it?
So the fitra of Allah, or which
Okay, so
Allah has
translation.
bestowed, and then allati, which
Okay, so let's just do the first two words. When we say fitrat Allahi, what do we actually mean by that?
we mean the nature
Are we-
which
are-
Allah
are we-
gave,
Are you
or
referring to Allah's nature or to people's nature?
no, to the Allah is with your fitra is your file, your feel. So it's not Allah's nature, it's Allah's what Allah has given, or
Okay. So the first thing is, what did I say? Let me see what I said for fitra here. Fitra normally is like nature or natural disposition, nature disposition. Okay, so the first two words, let's just say to say the nature of Allah. But when we say the nature of Allah, we don't mean Allah's nature. We mean the nature bestowed by Allah.
yes,
You with me?
yes.
So I just want to clear it up in terms of meaning. We don't mean the nature of Allah. We mean the nature of Allah that Allah has given us.
Okay, the nature which
Okay, so
Allah bestowed.
yeah, but okay, just leave the nature of Allah there. So we just keep it little
Okay.
for now. Allati,
That which
which. Now, fatara nasa is going to be, fatara is going to be a verb. So fatara nasa,
on nature on man.
okay, but say fatara is going to be a verb. So who's
The
going to be the
verb.
doer of the verb?
Allah.
The huwa inside referring to Allah, yes. The
Allah.
nature of Allah, that which, let's say he, because the huwa inside is the fa'il.
No.
So fatara nas, fatara is a difficult word to translate. How do you translate fatara?
Again, the fataran is again a fi'l madi,
Good.
and then an-nasa would be your done upon maf'ulun bi.
Yes. Good. So how
Because
do you
it's in
translate
nasab.
fatara nasa?
Fataran nasa bestowed upon man.
Okay,
Now,
so that which he, I'm
he
thinking of, okay, let me just look. Because fatara means to make someone's nature. So fatara means to make someone's nature, to also means to create, to shape. None of these
to
words.
shape. But then you have alayha.
Okay, so endow is a good one. So let's go the word there. The nature, so fitrat Allah, the nature of Allah, allati, that which fatara nasa, he endowed, or he fashioned, or endowed, fashioned,
Endowed.
made, so I'll just put this here.
So Maulana, how does the alayha come in?
People upon. So the ha goes back to which, to what's in the sentence? What does the ha go back to?
Alayha.
Does it go back to a female thing or a male thing? Alayha.
Supposedly female, but you can't tell.
So, so definitely a female thing, because if it was a male thing, it would have been alayhi. So alayha is a female thing. So which thing is female in the sentence?
Allati
Okay, but
الناس. So
we have the word
الناس
fitra,
you
we have the word
plural?
Allah. Okay, so when we nasa,
No.
it will be the word fitra.
Fitra.
Yeah, the word fitra. So the word fitra is actually a female word. Even though it's it
Okay.
doesn't have a ta marbuta there, it's actually a female word.
Okay.
Yeah, so the word fitra actually is normally written with ta marbuta. I don't know why it's written in this case with open ta, and sometimes there are reasons for qira'at that is. So the normal word fitra, let me go back to the dictionary here. The word fitra is normally written with a ta marbuta. So let's go to the word fitra here. Can see here's the word fitra. If my mouse is
نعم.
So it's normally written with the ta marbuta, creation, nature, disposition, constitution, temperament, innate character, instinct. It's normally a ta marbuta. In this case, it is written with a ta, an open ta, but it's still a female word, and often these are written for an open ta for other reasons, for qira reasons, for other reasons. So that is the female thing in the sentence, and therefore it's allati, because allati is referring to the single female fitra. So upon it referring to the nature. So if I translate it for you, it will be fitrat Allahi, so what is the fitra? The fitra is fitrat Allahi. It is the nature, the nature of Allah. Allati, that nature which fatara nasa, Allah has created an-nasa, people, alayha, upon it, upon this fitra.
نعم. Now I understand. شكرا.
Okay. I think from a belief point of view, your fitra is not something which is, there's a whole debate within psychology about nature versus nurture. Like, are you the way you are because of your genes, or are you the way you are because of your socializing and your upbringing and your environment? So obviously, I think a fair position would be that it's a balance of the two. So the question is, your fitrah, your belief in Allah Ta'ala, is that something which you have because your parents made you a believer, or is something which you have because Allah made you like that? And the question answer would be, again, it's a combination of the two. But your fitrah, that natural disposition to believe in Allah Ta'ala, that is actually you're born with that. Allah says, "Ya fitrat Allahi," it is the fitrah, it is a natural disposition given to you by Allah. Allati, that which fatara nasa alayha, Allah has created people, Allah has made people alayha, upon it, with this nature. So in Islam, we don't believe everything is like a social construct and everything is like due to environment. There are things that you are like the fact that you're a believer, it's something which comes naturally to you. Like to know Allah Ta'ala is something which is in your nature. People later in their life, they cover it up. They cover up this nature. And therefore, to disbelieve, the word disbelieve, which is interesting, actually is kafara, which means to cover up. So to disbelieve is to cover up the nature of belief. The truth within you is to cover it up. You can't deny it, it's still there. So all kafara is to cover it up. And therefore someone who is kafir can uncover themselves and become a believer. Now, Bismillah, scenario man. Raba'ibukum allati fi hujurikum.
Raba'ibukum is stepdaughters. Is yours, so it's your stepdaughters. Allati, who, fi. Allati is who are. Fi is
Good.
in. Hujurikum is your guardianship.
Your guardianship. Your hujur literally means your lap.
In your guardianship.
But the meaning will be in terms of guardianship, yes. So Raba'ibukum, your Rabiba is a single. Rabiba single, so the plural is Raba'ib, it's your stepdaughter. So you marry a lady who has like a small child. That small child is your Rabiba, your stepdaughter. So Raba'ibukum, your stepdaughters, allati, those who are fi in hujurikum. Hujurikum can mean your laps, your hijr, or can mean your guardianship. In your guardianship. Okay, perfect. Next one. الذين هم في صلاتهم خاشعون. Who's next?
Can I go, Maulana?
Yes, Bismillah.
الذين هم those who في صلاتهم humbly submissive
Okay.
of salat
So fi salatim, we translate as what?
submissive
Okay, in you just a bit soft. Salatihim.
خاشعون submissive in their prayers.
So in the khashi'un is submissive. Which word I give you for khashi'un? Submissive humility. Okay. The word khushu. I'll put the word submissive here, but the word khushu is someone who is like filled with awe. Okay. Alladhina hum fi salatim, in their prayer, in their salah, they are submissive. And the submissive meaning that they are filled with awe of Allah. They are overwhelmed with the presence of Allah Ta'ala. So obviously when you are faced with a big being, with a great being, and you consider yourself, that feeling that you of like smallness and of awe of this powerful being, that is called khushu. That's called khushu. Okay. So Bismillah, who's next? Let's give another student a turn, inshallah. واللاتي يأتين الفاحشة. Last two.
Assalamu alaikum, Maulana.
Salam, Muhammad Amin. How are you doing?
Alhamdulillah, how are you? All right?
Good, Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Those who commit indecency?
Okay, so those who is referring to males or females?
Females.
Females, because we have the first time we have this wallati. So we have alladhi, allati, alladhina, allati, wallati, those who, and this is specifically females only, not
Females,
males.
yes.
Ya'tina, what's the meaning of ya'tina?
It's actually, ati is to give, no? But in this sense, in this case, it's commit.
Yeah, so the word ata ya'ati actually means to come. Like ata ya'ati means to come, and when you use with a bi, normally it means to bring. So it's almost like those who come with. So we can use the word commit, it's fine. I'm just saying the word ya'ati normally means to come, or ya'ati bi means to bring.
Okay.
But just commit here is just for context. Al-fahisha, indecency. Fahisha generally is an indecency linked to sexuality, like zina or something like that. That is what fahisha generally means. Okay, perfect.
Okay. All right, shukran.
Afwan. Who's next? Last one. وَاللَّذَانِ يَأْتِيَانِهَا مِنْكُمْ. This one you haven't done وَاللَّذَانِ, but you can work out what وَاللَّذَانِ means. So Nariman, Bismillah.
And the two who commit it from among you.
Okay, good. So we have alladhi, but here we have walladhani, just means two. So walladhini, and those who, the two, ya'tiyani, commit it, minkum, from you, from amongst you. That's all fine. Okay, perfect. So mashallah, we finished. You finished your workbook. You deserve a sister this morning, this Sunday morning, and a cup of coffee, mashallah. So mashallah, you came to the end of your workbook. So number one, I'm going to say is that first of all, mubarak to you, congratulations to you, you finished your workbook. Number two, I'm going to say is that if your workbook is not full of work, then you have some catching up to do. So if you look back at your workbook and you see lots of empty pages, you should feel very guilty. But and you should catch up. So this workbook here shouldn't be empty. Just look back for a moment. Just look back and contemplate your life and see if all the pages are filled. If all the pages are not filled, and then you need to go back and fill all the pages, because if you did this work, mashallah, then you basically covered all the basic concepts in Nahwu for the first year, which we wanted you to cover. So Hasina, do you want to say something?
Gee, Maulana, I want to say 18. Let's go back to number 18.
Number 18, okay.
Yeah, it's just something I'm relating to. I say, if we go back to 18, it's Allah fi salatihim khashi'una. That ayah is in Surah Mu'minun. the believer. So that's
Okay, I
what,
made a mistake in there salah. No.
yeah.
Salati. Okay.
So I think that we're going to remember, because if you are a mu'minin, that's what we should feel awe. And then as a joke, I say, I feel in awe, we finish the book.
MashaAllah. Alhamdulillah. MashaAllah. No, it's an achievement, MashaAllah. Many of you came here with no Arabic background, and MashaAllah, you finished now with 68 pages of exercises, which is quite an achievement for what you've done, MashaAllah. So it's I wish I was in class now to be with you, but inshallah soon we'll be back in class, I hope. And Alhamdulillah, mashallah, mubarak to you. So that's basically the core Nahwu syllabus for first year. The core Nahwu syllabus for first year. And I think I urge all of you is that students often kind of miss a few weeks, or they fall behind here or there. For me, the ultimate test is the workbook. If you can do the workbook reasonably, you obviously get confused here and there, which is normal. But if you can reasonably do the exercise in the workbook, you are on track. And if you can't do the exercise, you know where to zoom in. So, for example, you say you're getting stuck on a specific question, you're getting stuck on attached pronouns. You're struggling with something like alladhi khalaqaka fa'adalak, or whatever the case is. Then you know where to kind of zoom in and go revise the lesson from your textbook or from the recordings. You know where to finish. So basically your workbook will tell you how well you are doing. So I'm urging you, those of you who missed a few exercises, don't just leave it. Go back and do it, inshallah. And if you need the answer sheet, you can request the answer sheets. They should all be available, and all the lessons are online for explanation and so on. But I think it's been a good exercise for us to go through the answers like this. I was actually thinking in future, even if the course is back in Masjid, we don't always have the time to go through it one by one like this. I think it's quite valuable, even if it's done online in future, to go through all the answers. So Alhamdulillah, Mubarak, you have finished your Nahwu for the first year. Alhamdulillah. And after Nahwu comes what? Comes Sarf. Okay, so take a breath, take a deep breath.